May is 32 years old. Every morning, before she makes coffee, before she checks her messages, before she does anything else, she opens her banking app and looks at the balance. She has been doing this for 8 years. She does not do it because she is in trouble. She does it because she does not know the number that would make her stop. She does not know at what point the balance becomes large enough that she no longer needs to check. She has a vague feeling it is somewhere around $500,000 or $600,000. She heard that somewhere. She is not sure where. She is not alone. Singlife surveyed 3,000 Singaporeans and permanent residents in 2024 and asked them what amount of money would make them feel financially free. The median answer was $612,045, up 8% from the year before. And 44% of those surveyed said they believe they will never reach that number. Here is the problem. $612,000 in cash at today's cost of living in Singapore is not financial freedom. It is approximately 17 years of spending. If you retire at 55 and live to 83, Singapore's average life expectancy, you need that money to last 28 years. The math does not work. But here is the other problem, the one almost nobody talks about. For many Singaporeans who own an HDB flat and are on track with their CPF, the real number they need is significantly smaller than they think. Not smaller in a reassuring everything is fine way, smaller in a specific, calculable, actionable way that changes what they need to do right now. This video is about that number, specifically, precisely, for Singapore in 2026. Not an American formula copied and pasted, not a vague answer. The actual number and how to calculate yours before this video ends. Start with the formula that most people use, and why it is wrong for Singapore. The 4% rule comes from a 1994 study by American financial planner William Bengen. He analyzed historical US market data and concluded that if you withdraw 4% of your portfolio in year 1, then adjust for inflation each year after, your money has a high probability of lasting 30 years. Take your annual expenses, divide by 4%, and you have your number. Spend $60,000 a year, you need $1.5 million. Singapore's financial planners have largely moved away from this as the default. There are 3 reasons. First, life expectancy. Singapore's average is 83.5 years. If you retire at 45, your money needs to last 38 to 40 years, not 30. At a 40-year horizon, the 4% rule's historical success rate drops to approximately 85%. For a number this important, an 85% chance is not reassuring. Most Singapore-focused FIRE calculators, including Smart Calculator's retirement tool, now use 3 to 3.5% as the default safe withdrawal rate. The practical effect? Your required number is larger. At 3.5%, $60,000 per year requires not $1.5 million, but $1.714 million. Second, CPF LIFE. This is the factor that most calculators and most Singaporeans miss entirely. CPF LIFE is a government-backed lifelong annuity that pays from age 65. If you have the full retirement sum in your retirement account at 55, $220,400 in 2026, CPF LIFE pays approximately $1,780 per month from 65 until the day you die. That is $21,360 per year. Guaranteed, government-backed, risk-free. Every dollar of annual income that CPF LIFE provides is a dollar you do not need your investment portfolio to generate. At 3.5%, every $21,360 of annual income CPF LIFE provides reduces your required portfolio by $610,000. That number deserves to be read again. $610,000 less portfolio required. Not from investing more cleverly, from accurately counting what you already have. Smart Calculator's Singapore FIRE calculator puts it this way. For someone who needs $5,000 per month in retirement and has a CPF Life FRS payout of $1,780, the self-funded FIRE number drops from $1.5 million to approximately $990,000, a 34% reduction. The difference between "I will never get there" and "I might already be closer than I thought." Third, the paid-off HDB. Most Singaporeans retire in a flat they own outright. No rent, no mortgage. When you remove housing costs from your retirement budget, the entire FIRE number recalculates. Every $500 per month you do not need to spend on housing reduces your required portfolio by approximately $171,000 at a 3.5% withdrawal rate. A fully paid HDB saves between $1,500 and $2,000 per month in equivalent rent. That single fact reduces the required external portfolio by over $500,000 for many households. This is why May's number is wrong. She is counting the wrong things in the wrong way. Now the actual numbers. 4 levels. Every number specific to Singapore in 2026. The first level is Coast FIRE. This is not financial freedom in the sense of never working again. It is something more valuable for most people in their 30s. It is the point where your retirement is already funded, whether you save another dollar or not. Alvin is 41 years old, operations manager, takes home $7,000 a month. He has been doing the right things: $8,000 of CPF cash top-up every January for the tax relief and 4% guaranteed return, $500 per month into a CSPX regular savings plan. His brokerage portfolio is $280,000. His HDB has 10 more years on the mortgage. 2 months ago, his company announced restructuring. 3 of his colleagues took packages. He spent a week wondering whether his job was safe, then spent another week wondering whether it mattered. It did not matter, not financially. He just did not know that yet. Here is the Coast FIRE calculation for Alvin. He wants enough invested today that even if he never contributes another dollar, the portfolio will compound to his FIRE number by age 65. Assume 7% average annual returns. His FIRE number, with FRS CPF Life and a paid-off HDB at 65, is approximately $750,000. He needs that in 24 years. The present value of $750,000 in 24 years at 7% is approximately $167,000. Alvin has $280,000 invested. He passed Coast FIRE 2 years ago. He was not even looking. His money will reach his retirement number at 65 without a single additional contribution. He can take the package if they offer it. He can switch to a lower stress role. He can take a sabbatical. He has not escaped work, but he has removed the financial terror that makes bad work feel mandatory. The practical Coast FIRE range for Singaporeans in their 30s is $150,000 to $350,000 in invested assets outside CPF. At that level, with CPF and HDB on track, the compounding does the remaining work. You still need income to cover current expenses, but you no longer need to save for retirement. That chapter is closed. The action. Log into your CPF dashboard at cpf.gov.sg and check your projected CPF Life payout. Then open your investment portfolio. Run the present value calculation. Your FIRE number divided by 1.07 raised to the power of years until 65. If your current portfolio exceeds that number, you have already hit Coast FIRE. Most Singaporeans in their late 30s and early 40s with consistent CPF contributions have passed this milestone without realizing it. The second level is the number May is actually looking for. The point where she stops checking every morning. Lean FIRE for a single Singaporean with a paid-off HDB and no car in 2026 requires covering the following expenses. Food at hawker centres and occasional cooking, $600 per month. Public transport, $120. Utilities, $150. Health insurance and out-of-pocket medical, $300. Personal and miscellaneous, $300. Total, $1,470 per month. $18,000 per year. This aligns almost exactly with the LKY SPP's minimum income standard of $1,379 per month, the government-linked benchmark for a basic but dignified life. At 3.5% withdrawal rate, $18,000 divided by 0.035 equals $514,000. But here is where Singapore's system changes everything. If May has the full retirement sum in CPF at 55, $220,400, CPF Life pays $1,780 per month from 65. That already exceeds her $18,000 annual minimum. Her required external portfolio for the years before 65, assuming she targets 55 as her FIRE date, is approximately $500,000 to bridge the 10 years without CPF payouts. Total net worth required for lean FIRE at 55. The FRS in CPF plus approximately $500,000 external. Combined, approximately $720,000. Not counting the HDB. $514,000 in the brokerage. $220,000 in CPF retirement account. HDB paid off. That is lean FIRE in Singapore in 2026. May's vague $600,000 number is not entirely wrong, but it is wrong in the most important way. It is cash sitting in a savings account earning nothing. The same amount invested in CSPX at 7% annual returns is a fundamentally different thing. $600,000 in a high-yield savings account is 17 years of expenses. $600,000 in CSPX at 3.5% annual withdrawal is infinite. The action. Go to My Tax Portal and confirm your SRS balance. If you have an SRS account and the money is sitting in cash, earning 0.05% while inflation runs above 2%, move it into CSPX, ES3, or Singapore Savings Bonds today. The account is not the plan. The invested account is the plan. For someone starting from zero, who invests $1,500 per month at 7% returns from age 32, the $500,000 target arrives in approximately 19 years, at 51. The third level is where most of this channel's audience actually wants to end up. Not survival, not frugality. A genuinely comfortable life where money is not a constraint on how you spend your days. Sarah is 45 years old, finance director, earns $15,000 per month, invested $5,000 per month for 9 years, CSPX, VWRA, Singapore REITs through SRS. Her brokerage and SRS portfolio combined, $1.2 million. CPF on track for ERS, $440,800, which will generate $3,180 to $3,410 per month from 65. HDB will be paid off in 3 years. She and her husband plan to spend $6,000 per month in retirement. Good food, travel twice a year, healthcare. Nothing extravagant. No car. They will use Grab and MRT and enjoy it. Here is her real FIRE number. Monthly need, $6,000. CPF Life ERS, $3,200. Gap she needs to fund herself, $2,800 per month. Annual, $33,600. Add 3.5% SWR, $33,600 divided by 0.035 equals $960,000. Her current external portfolio is $1.2 million. She has already crossed her standard FIRE number. She does not know this because she has been using a generic calculator that does not account for CPF Life at the ERS level. She is 45. Her portfolio at 7% annual returns will reach $2 million in approximately 7.5 years. But her actual financial independence number with the Singapore-specific calculation was crossed approximately 18 months ago. She is checking her balance every morning for a number she already has. The action for anyone targeting Standard FIRE. Calculate your real number using the Singapore formula. Your annual retirement expenses minus CPF LIFE payout divided by 3.5%. Then, check whether your current portfolio, not including CPF, which will handle its own portion, exceeds that result. If it does, you need a different kind of plan. Not an accumulation plan, a withdrawal plan. The fourth level is where the question stops being about the number entirely. Marcus is 49, managing director at a private bank, has never once checked his account balance before coffee. His question is not how much he needs. His question is how to structure what he has so that the number stays large enough, tax efficiently enough, across his lifetime and his children's lifetimes. For Chubby FIRE, a Singapore couple with a private condominium, a car, regular business class travel, a helper, and genuinely good healthcare, the monthly budget runs between $10,000 and $12,000. At $12,000 per month, that is $144,000 per year. At 3.5%, the required portfolio is $4.1 million. Without CPF offset, which at this spending level covers less than 3% of expenses, $4 million. Fat FIRE, Marcus's level, typically requires $6 million to $10 million. The Financial Coconut Singapore community regularly cites $6 million as a realistic chubby to fat floor. At that level, the MAS accredited investor threshold of $2 million net personal assets becomes relevant. It unlocks private credit, private equity, and structured products that diversify beyond listed markets. Firepath Lion, a Singapore permanent resident who documented his entire journey publicly, reached $4 million net worth in 10 years through index investing and a savings rate above 50%. Not a tech founder, not an inheritance. Consistent investing in VWRA and a 3-fund portfolio documented month by month starting from zero. The number at this level is not the constraint. The constraint at Fat FIRE is execution, tax structure, estate planning, insurance wrapper, whether the lifestyle you have built can sustain itself if you stop compounding aggressively. For almost nobody watching this video, Fat FIRE is the immediate question. But understanding where it sits clarifies what every level below it actually requires. So what is the number? The honest answer is that there is not one number. There is a formula with 4 inputs: your monthly expenses in retirement, your CPF LIFE payout based on your projected retirement sum, whether your housing is paid for, and how many years remain until 65. But most people do not need a formula to start. They need a framework. Here it is. If your CPF is on track for FRS or above, and your HDB will be paid off before retirement, and you want a modest but genuinely comfortable life, the external portfolio you need is somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million. Not $2 million. Not the vague at least $1 million that most Singaporeans use as their answer. Between $500,000 and $1 million, depending on your lifestyle and retirement age. If you want Chubby FIRE, condo, helper, annual holidays, no financial anxiety about anything, $4 million. If you want to never think about money under any circumstances, including the children's school, the parents' care, the boat, and the second home, $6 million and above. The gap between where most Singaporeans are and where they need to be for standard financial independence is not as large as the 44% who have given up believe. The gap is most often not the number, it is the instrument. $612,000 in a bank account, 17 years of expenses, then zero. $612,000 in CSPX at 3.5% withdrawal, approximately $1,790 per month, every month, without touching the principal, forever. Same amount, completely different life. Elvin's company did offer him a package. He sat with it for 3 days. Then he declined, not because he needed the job, but because he actually liked it. That is a different relationship with work. That is what Coast FIRE feels like. Not freedom from employment, freedom within it. May took 37 minutes to calculate her real number, not the vague 600,000 she had been carrying for years. Her actual Singapore-specific number, $490,000 external portfolio, plus CPF on track for FRS, plus HDB paid off in 14 years. She wrote it on a sticky note and put it on her bathroom mirror. She still checks her banking app every morning, but now she is watching a specific number move toward a specific target. That is not anxiety, that is a plan. Sarah told her husband at dinner that they had already hit their number. He did not believe her. She showed him the calculation. He asked if they could go to Japan in April. They booked it that night. The exact number you need to stop checking your bank account every morning is almost certainly not the number in your head. For most Singaporeans with CPF on track and a path to a paid-off HDB, it is smaller than you think, if you count what the system is already providing on your behalf. For everyone else, it is larger than the vague figure in your head, because cash in a savings account is not an investment portfolio, and 17 years of expenses is not financial freedom. The formula is annual expenses in retirement minus CPF LIFE annual payout divided by 3.5%. Calculate it. Write down the number. Look at your current portfolio. Find the gap. That gap has a closing date. It is not 30 years away. What is yours?